country.
Holiday travel nightmare. A major winter storm ripping through the west. Snow shutting down California highways and life-threatening flash floods with millions hitting the roads and taking to the skies. The major system on the move, putting 14 states on alert this morning. As the powerful storm moves east, we're tracking the very latest.
Urgent search. The Alabama woman disappearing with 2 unknown men a week ago. Authorities searching for clues after her last text saying she's in trouble. Now her brother is speaking out.
Lucky to be alive. The terrifying moment a 5-year-old girl was knocked down and run over by a school bus, the wheels just barely missing her.
Post-Christmas rush. The deals aren't done. The best bargains that will have you running to the stores this morning.
Surprise! The epic Secret Santa moment that has this military mom jumping out of her seat.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America. Happy Friday, guys. The last Friday of the year. After this week in 2020. It'll be a big show.
Make it count. And I can't wait to show you guys the rest of that Secret Santa surprise. So cute.
That's all coming up, but we got to start with some nasty stuff. The weather. It's severe at this point, particularly out west. It has put a delay on a lot of people's post-Christmas and trying to get home plans, but also their pre-New Year's travel plans as well. We're going to begin with our Marcus Moore. He's at Los Angeles International Airport. How are we looking out there, Marcus?
Well, hey, TJ, it is the start of a busy day here at LAX. We've seen waves of travelers coming in here, lining up, some of them before 2 o'clock this morning to catch flights home. This morning, with millions of drivers heading home on the roads, holiday travelers hitting the roads on the West Coast are struggling to make it through. A massive snowstorm hit parts of California, shutting down part of the 5 freeway through what's known as the Grapevine for more than 12 hours, pummeling lower-lying cities with heavy rain.
It's pretty bad out there, like windshield wipers, full blast. You can't even see. That's why I pulled in the gas station right now.
Video now surfacing of drivers stuck for hours on this California highway, people trying to push their cars out of dense snow.
To go straight for us, I was just getting too scared, but it was horrible. It was crazy.
This stretch of highway along the Cajon Pass, impassable.
30 years I've lived in the high desert. I've never been stuck. Never. This is bad. This is horrible.
The brutal conditions turning deadly for one man. Officials found a truck driver dead in the log jam. The cause of death under investigation this morning. And near San Bernardino, heavy snowfall blanketing the desert terrain. This parking lot filled with weary drivers. And for those taking to the skies, another busy day for travel. The nation's airports already filling up as people return home. Interstate 15 here in this area was one of the many crucial arteries that were shut down because of the ice and snow. Tom, just adding to the travel troubles for millions of travelers who are hitting the roads here this holiday season.
That's a big story this weekend. All right, Marcus, thank you so much. Rob Marciano is here. He's tracking the latest on that powerful storm now making its way east. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. It is powerful, but it's also very compact. We'll be expanding as it heads across the country. This is kind of just a precursor of what's about to go down Grand Forks, North Dakota. This is I-29, some slick roads there. That's one of the many states that are under a winter storm watch or winter storm warnings. That includes Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska now under a warning. I wouldn't be surprised to see blizzard conditions there, and we still have wind advisories out for Southern California because the center of this low is still over Arizona. Phoenix, you'll probably see some heavy rain today, possibly some flash flooding with some thunderstorms. Of course, some snow at the higher elevations, the San Juans of Southern Colorado. Denver will finally see some snow after a very dry December, and then a lot of record warmth ahead of this. So that's going to spawn some severe weather, I think, during the day tomorrow from Little Rock up through St. Louis, Chicago. I think you'll probably see some flight delays, Minneapolis as well. And then during the day on Sunday, this whole mess moves towards the east, probably more severe, some thunderstorms heading towards Nashville and Atlanta during the afternoon on Sunday, Cincinnati as well, and heavy rain eventually getting into the northeast. So kind of a mess across the board here, Diane.
All right, Rob, thanks. Now to that plane crash, killing at least a dozen people in Kazakhstan with more than 90 passengers on board. Let's go to Ian Panel with the latest on the investigation. Ian, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. That's right. The Kazakhstan plane with 98 on board crashed shortly after takeoff this morning, killing at least 12 people, with more than 50 hospitalised, at least 10 said to be critical. The Bek airplane reportedly struck a concrete fence and a two-storey building after takeoff from Almaty, Kazakhstan's largest city. The airport said there was no fire and a rescue operation was launched immediately. Footage from the scene, though, shows the front of the broken-up fuselage rammed against a building and the rear of the plane lying in the field next to the airport. The aircraft involved was a Fokker 100, a medium-sized twin-turbofan jet airliner reported to be 23 years old. All Bek Air and Fokker 100 flights have now been suspended pending an investigation. Diane?
All right, such a tragedy, Ian. Thank you. Tom?
Diane, thank you. Now to the missing tour helicopter in Hawaii. The Coast Guard is searching for the aircraft after it went missing off Kauai's Napali coast, carrying 7 people, including 2 that are believed to be minors. The Coast Guard says that the weather conditions are challenging. The helicopter has a locator, but as of right now, officials say no signals have been received.
We turn now to a major development in the murder that stunned New York City, the stabbing death of Barnard College freshman Tessa Majors. Police finding now the 3rd teen who was wanted for questioning in that killing. Ariel Reshef is in Morningside Park where this brutal crime took place. Ariel, hello to you.
Hey, good morning, TJ. Police say that 14-year-old is believed to be the one who stabbed Tessa Majors to death. Now, after 2 weeks on the run, he has been brought in for questioning and swabbed for DNA. The chief of detectives calling this a significant development.
This morning, a major break in the chilling murder of Barnard College freshman Tessa Majors. The NYPD announcing the 14-year-old believed to have wielded the knife used to stab Majors to death was located and questioned, ending a massive 2-week manhunt that haunted the campus community. The city's chief of detectives tweeting, "This was a significant development. Although he has since been released to the custody of his attorneys, the investigation remains very active." The teen, for now, released without charge. Police stressing his lawyers were present while he was detained. Officials say the 14-year-old was found Thursday morning in the Bronx, tracked using electronic surveillance, brought in, photographed, fingerprinted, and swabbed for DNA. Majors allegedly fighting back during the apparent mugging, leaving bite marks on one of her attackers. A 13-year-old in custody since the day after the killing, now facing a felony murder charge, allegedly implicating himself and 2 other teens from his middle school in the grisly crime.
I think it should disturb any New Yorker when we have a child involved in something this serious.
Attorneys for the 13-year-old cautioning against any rush to judgment, saying our client is a 13-year-old child who is presumed innocent with no juvenile record.
And that 14-year-old who was brought in for questioning and later released has not been charged. He's now in the custody of his attorneys pending the outcome of that DNA test. TJ.
But Ariel, this case now has sparked a really disturbing development on Majors campus at Barnard College and also nearby Columbia.
That's right, TJ. This is bizarre. Columbia University releasing a statement to students and staff addressing a series of robocalls believed to be tied to a white supremacist group. Those calls referencing this Tessa Majors case. The university says those calls are viciously racist, and they're saying they're working with the NYPD to stop them. TJ.
All right, Ariel Reshef for it this morning. Thank you so much. Diane.
And now to that urgent search for a young woman missing in Alabama. She was last seen a week ago and later sent a text message saying she was in trouble. ABC's Zachary Quiche is here with the latest. Good morning, Zachary.
Diane, good morning. Lots of concern this morning about that last text and now the time that's passed, especially over the holidays. Detectives, with the Birmingham Police Department are conducting a missing persons investigation this morning, but they don't have much to work with, and that's why they're asking for the community's help. Overnight, the family of a 29-year-old woman missing since last Friday now speaking out.
You see it on TV, and you always feel for the families that it happens to, and you just never think it's going to be, hitting so close to home.
Authorities say Peyton Houston disappeared after stepping out of an Alabama bar with 2 unknown men. Her brother, speaking with GMA overnight, says his sister hasn't been heard from since.
About 12:14 p.m. that night, she sent a text to one of the friends she was at the bar with, stating that she didn't know who she was with and that she felt like she was in trouble.
Her family is not giving up hope. Peyton's mother sharing this photo of the 2 on her Facebook in an emotional plea for help, hoping someone can help find their daughter. Without many leads, police are reviewing that surveillance video from the night, but are not saying if they believe foul play is involved. Her brother sharing this message for his sister.
Mom and Dad, me, everyone that is around you, the whole community is searching for you. We're looking for you. We're looking for answers, and we're not going to stop until we find you and we get you home safe.
That last text saying that she was with people she didn't know and that she may be in trouble, certainly a red flag there, guys.
So eerie, too. What a nightmare for that family. Zachary, thanks.
Thank you so much. Folks, I want you to take a look at your screens now. I'm going to show you the reason why some skiers are lucky to be alive. They had this dangerous close call. This is a video we're getting from a Swiss news site, and you can see an actual avalanche there barreling toward people on the slopes. This is in the Swiss Alps. 6 people ended up buried. Everybody was rescued. 2 people suffered minor injuries and were airlifted to the hospital, but they all survived this okay.
All right, glad everyone's all right. Now, to new information this morning about the sudden and tragic death of a 34-year-old ESPN reporter. His fiance now saying he had another illness besides pneumonia, a rare immune system disease. Janae Norman is here now with the details. Janae, good morning.
Tom, good morning. Absolutely a shocking and sudden death that so many are still struggling to understand. And now we're learning more about the health issues Edward Aschoff faced before his untimely death. This morning, new details are emerging on the shocking passing of 34-year-old ESPN reporter Ed Aschoff.
This is tragic. At 34 years old, just wow.
Aschoff's fiancée, Katie Berteau, revealing the health battles he faced leading up to his death, taking to Twitter to say Edward was at first being treated for pneumonia, but after failed antibiotic treatment with worsening symptoms, we took him back to the ER. She says he was then diagnosed with HLH, an unregulated overactivation of the immune system that causes it to attack itself. 3 days later, she says Aschoff passed away.
I'm Edward Aschoff, ESPN.
Aschoff, a rising star in college football reporting, had been public about his health struggle, which he began tweeting about in November, writing just before Thanksgiving, "For someone who never gets sick, I've had some fever, cough, fatigue, flu thing for about 2 weeks now." But his condition only worsened. Aschoff passing away on his 34th birthday, Christmas Eve, just months ahead of his spring wedding. And Aschoff's fiancée remembering the brightness that he showed in life, writing on Twitter, he kept the doctors and nurses constantly laughing, and even from the ICU, he was coordinating with her friend about wrapping her Christmas presents. Tom, it is heartbreaking.
What a great guy. It's just sad story all around. All right, Janae, thank you. Let's bring in now Dr. Jen Ashton with more on this. Jen, this is also strange. Ed Aschoff's girlfriend says that he suffered from HLH. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so here's what people should know about HLH, Tom. First of all, it's incredibly rare. There are thought to be only about 200,000 people in the United States with HLH. It can be hereditary, so some people can be born with it, or in adults, it can be acquired oftentimes after another, recent infection or cancer. And basically, it's when the immune system goes on an all-out attack on itself. We make the diagnosis with a battery of blood tests and then a bone marrow biopsy, which in this case was done.
And you were telling me it's not that it's hard to diagnose, but that it's just so rare.
Yeah, and I think we have to understand with something rare like this, the symptoms can be vague. A lot of doctors may not necessarily be on the lookout for it, but when you take a look at the symptoms, they overlap with things like the flu, swollen lymph nodes, a skin rash, a yellowing of the skin or eyes called jaundice, lung respiratory problems, which you can see with pneumonia or influenza, and then fatigue. And again, when you hear about these kind of symptoms, it's important for people to understand just because you have those symptoms doesn't mean you have something rare like HLH. In general, we treat this with a battery of things: chemotherapy, steroids, antiviral medications, antibiotics if appropriate. But again, it's incredibly rare.
So viewers are hearing all this. They may be a little worried. How do you know when to get tested for this? And if you do get diagnosed with pneumonia, will doctors automatically try to look for this?
No, Tom, and that's the important thing. We have a saying in medicine: an increased risk of a rare event is still a rare event, or uncommon things still happen uncommonly. The blessing in this is that, again, in this tragic death, we are increasing awareness about something that is rare. So I want to reassure people, just because you have the flu or pneumonia doesn't mean it's going to lead to HLH.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton, we thank you for that.
You bet, Tom.
All right, we turn to Wall Street now. Stocks setting records as the year winds down. The tech-heavy NASDAQ index topped 9,000 for the first time ever. And this is the 11th straight session of gains on the NASDAQ. The Dow Industrials, S&P also setting records, one of dozens they've really been setting all year long. We have good online shopping numbers from Amazon in particular and other retailers that help push those numbers up.
I certainly also helped push those numbers up, by the way. And speaking of shopping, those holiday deals, they're not done. Some of those markdowns are being marked down again. Gio Benitez is here with a look at the best end of the year bargains. Gio, good morning.
Markdowns on markdowns on markdowns.
I'm in.
Hey, listen, on Black Friday, I told you that better deals were on the way. This is that time for those deals on deals. We're talking as much as 60% off, and we are doing the digging for you. Take a look at what we're finding this morning.
Holiday celebrations may be winding down, but the deals are not done. Whether you're exchanging a gift or snagging something left off your list, you can still save this season with those post-Christmas sales.
The 50% off in some stores, the extra 50% off, that was the best deal.
Fashion lovers can still cash in on New Year's clothing with those sales on sales. Online shoppers can find an extra 50% off sale items at J.Crew and an extra 60% off at The Gap. Macy's discounting fashion, handbags, and jewelry up to 60%. Even tech lovers can still snag the best for less with major deals on electronics. Shoppers can save up to $500 on smart TVs at Best Buy. Here's a 55-inch smart TV as low as $299. And Xbox One bundles up to $150 off. Amazon offering up to $30 off those Apple AirPods and their popular Echo Dot on sale for only $25.
Good deals, and we found some more deals that you might not think about. Take a look at this. Glasses USA, 65% off all frames. You can save $100 on Home Chef, the meal delivery service. And you know Lumi. I know all you know Lumi. That's a selfie light on your phone. 20% off today, especially TJ.
I was just about to ask, what's Lumi? I need that.
Get your selfie on, get your shop. You need it.
That's you started your segment by saying, I told y'all.
I told you so. It happened. Here we go.
You get full credit, my man.
So we're going on a shopping trip after Gio?
Let's do it.
Now that you've got the in, all right.
Well, we need to go on a shopping trip with this guy because he just picked up $1 million because of a slight stat change. We're talking about the New York Giants linebacker Marcus Golden. Now, this tackle, this was on Sunday, he was credited with half a sack. He shared that sack with his teammate at the time. Well, they went back and corrected this, so he has now gotten full credit for the sack, which puts him at 10 sacks for the year, which triggered a lucrative $1 million bonus in his contract. If he reached double-digit sacks, then he gets $1 million bonus. Slight decimal move. On the stat correction, he got $1 million.
That is a very important decimal.
It was a very important. We'll go shopping with Gio with $1 million.
All right, we're following a lot of other big stories this morning. New questions after that Texas mother was taken with her infant daughter. The latest on the suspect in that frightening case, as the baby is now safe with her father.
Also this morning, the little girl lucky to be alive after this. Yes, a school bus went over her. This is a frightening video to watch. The wheels just barely missed her body. I want you to know for sure she is okay, but we'll tell you more about what happened here.
Plus, the one thing missing from the biggest blockbusters of the decade. First, let's go over to Rob.
As you know, Gio and TJ both Southern boys. They may not like this scene, but if you want to shop for snow, this is Southern California. You can believe this, just outside of Los Angeles. Mount Baldy getting 28 inches of snow, and that is a beautiful white Christmas postcard. Where are you going to see snow today as this storm moves towards the east? Telluride, the San Juans, northern New Mexico, we'll see snow. Denver, if you don't see snow in the next couple of days, it'll be the first completely snowless December since 1906. And here's the warmth, so this does not feel like Christmas here. Temps in the 50s, cooling off with some rain on Sunday. Time now for your weekend getaways, brought to you by State Farm.
Congrats, Kim. You got your own car with your own insurance.
No more driving that old hand-me-down.
Did you trade it in?
My parents handed it down to my little brother.
You ready?
Yeah. Surprise! No. Not beige Betty. You guys can't do this to me. Seriously?
My car is like a rite of passage.
How do you expect me to drive this?
Just turn the key and yeah, it's just
some of this.
It's automatic, dual cup holders.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Plenty of clouds today and can't rule out a sprinkle. Temperatures will once again top out about 55, 56 degrees for a high temperature. As we get into the day tomorrow, a little more sunshine. The high temperature 57 degrees and then 53 on Sunday. All in all, a couple of great days for getting outdoors. We'll track rain moving into the area. I think Sunday late in the day, 65 degrees for a high temperature on Monday, looking like rain throughout the day. And then we'll ring in the new year dry, but with some pretty high temperatures.
The best network is even better. The best deals on the best network. How can everyone be the best? Well, Sprint's doing things differently. They're offering a 100% total satisfaction guarantee.